What is going down, people? Y'all know what time it is, man. You are locked in with S-Dogs MMA Talk, and today I am joined with a banger guest. We've been trying to make this happen for a minute now. My brother is literally on the other side of the world in South Africa, but we made it happen today, people. I want y'all to give a huge shout out to my boy, EFC's own Adrian, son of thunder, Sanchez. What's going
Hey,
down, my boy?
what's up? How you doing, Sterling? I'm glad to be on the show, man. I know, like you said, we've been trying to hook this up for a while now, but we're here. We made it. We're online. We're here. Let's go.
We made it, son. And
Good.
I got the boy Son of Thunder on here, dog, coming off his recent absolute. I mean, bro, you should be charged with a homicide, third degree, for what you did to that man a couple weeks ago, brother. We're gonna get into that a little bit, Adrian. But I'm telling you, people, I'll put it in this video, or I'll put the description at least in the link. Y'all gotta see what my man did. Absolute murderer. Murderer, people. But Adrian, before we get into that, brother, and before we get into the
Yeah.
absolute dead bodies you've caught over the years, I want to know how you've been able to get those dead bodies, brother. So my first question, bro, what were you doing before you got into combat sports, Adrian? And how old were you when you first started?
Man, okay, so before I'll go back to the beginning. So from a young age, from about the age of like 4 or 5 years old, I was doing gymnastics. And I actually kind of got scouted in a way when I was like in like primary school. That's what we call it here. That's like grade one, like when you're like very, very young.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I got scouted out of like a group of like 400 kids or something like that. And I was one of 50. And then that group became like 20, and then eventually it was 16, and then they broke those up into groups of eight, two groups of eight. And then basically what the idea was to it was like an Olympic development program. That's what they called us, ODP. And basically in South Africa at the time, we had individuals that had gone to the Olympics as individual athletes, but they never had a team. So their plan was to groom us from a very young age to till about between the ages of 18 and 20, and then they were going to send us over as a team to the Olympics. Back then, I think it was their aim was the 2012 Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so I did gymnastics for good, like pretty much my whole adolescent life till about the age of 13, 14 years old, and I kind of grew out of it. And then that was like through like to like the beginning of my high school career. And then I played a bit of soccer, and I was a bit too rough for soccer. And then I got it. I got it. I played like one season of soccer, tried a bit of club football, but they didn't want to like play me much because I was like too rough. So eventually I was like, stuff soccer, I'm gonna play rugby. And then I stuck to rugby for like a good like 6 years. And eventually I didn't play like a high level of rugby, but I played eventually at club level. I got like a slight taste of provincial rugby at club level, which here in South Africa it was called the Western Province Emerging Side. So it's like the level just before like the the entry level league for the professionals. So it was just before that. But I got over it as well. Too much politics and stuff in rugby in our country. So I
Yeah.
took like a hiatus from sport. Then I was about 19, 20 years old. And then I took like a year, almost 2 years off from sport completely. I did some studies. I did like fitness and exercise science. I did my 2 year studies or whatever, got my diploma, certificates, and all that stuff. And then I got into the fitness industry, but cash and stuff wasn't the best. And then before I moved from the fitness industry into the corporate world, I started with MMA. So the way I got into MMA was, man, I used to deliver pizza as well. Now that it's coming to me, before I got into like the MMA scene and while I was studying, I was a pizza boy, man. I used to deliver
Really,
pizza.
bro?
Yeah, they called the company's name was Butlers. I don't want to give them too much credit.
Yeah.
I used to deliver pizza, bro. Before I was the EFC's top lightweight fighter, I was Butler's top freaking pizza boy, man. So
Yes, son.
I used to deliver pizza back in the day, and then I finished my studies while doing that, and then got into the fitness industry, and then that's when I started fighting. I remember sitting watching back in 2016. I remember watching Rocky. The movies Rocky was still, Sylvester Stallone, growing up, I was always like a fan of the movies because, you know, I don't know, I kind of like related to it, and I like the whole motivation and the inspiration of it all. And then obviously the sport, you know. And I remember sitting watching the movie with one of my ex-girlfriends, and I was sitting, and at the end where he fights Apollo Creed, and I remember turning to her and then looking, and I was like, I'm gonna fight. And she's like, oh no, you're not gonna fight, like you're not a fighter. Da, da, da. And I was like, listen, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna train 3 weeks. I'm gonna join a gym. Give me a couple months, and I'll have my first fight. And it unfolded, and it happened just as I said. I trained 3 weeks on my own. I remember I didn't even know how to, like, the difference between southpaw or orthodox. I was still standing there as a southpaw. And then eventually I joined the gym, and the coach that I joined up with, you know, he didn't really take me seriously, because I mean, like, a lot of dudes come to a gym and they're like, oh, I want to be a fighter. But like, I was serious about it. And long story short, he checked me out, and, you know, he tested me here and there, and then, like, literally I trained like 4 months for my first amateur fight. Never been in a ring before. Never. I mean, I had a couple of few street fights. I'm undefeated in the street, apparently. and then I was like, damn, let me, you know, try out for real. So anyway, got into after like 4 months, had my first fight, got into the ring, smashed the guy in 58 seconds, bro. Landed a clean overhand right, jumped on his back, choked him out, bro, like cold, and got up, like, celebrated. And then I realized, I was like, damn, I love this shit. Like, this is what I want to do. And then, yeah, the rest is history, man. Like 10 years later, I've had 12 professional fights. And yeah, I would say I'm one of Cape Town's top lightweights at the moment. So that I could maybe be even South Africa if I shoot my own horn. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I was doing before.
Bro, first of all, you are EFC's top light, not even just the top lightweight, top fighter, brother. Don't get it twisted, dog. You're hey, headliner at EFC, brother. Don't ever forget that, son. South Africa's own. But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, Adrian? But bro, so this is crazy. So you were watching a Rocky movie. You're seeing him. Which one was it? Was it Clubber Lang? Was it the first one?
The first one, bro. The first one.
The first one.
I just want to go the distance. That one, bro.
Yeah.
That's the one. That one.
Classic, bro. Adrian, do you know how fucking crazy that is, bro? To not only that, the fact that you watched that movie at that era too, because 2016, what was the MMA scene like out there in South Africa at that time?
Dude, it was still like, this is before Dricus. This is like before Don Madge went in. We maybe had like 2 or 3 guys from South Africa that had made it in. But the biggest name at the time, the last biggest name that was in the UFC was Gareth McLachlan, Soldier Boy.
Oh, shout out Soldier Boy.
Yeah, Soldier Boy. So at that time, he was like the guy that went to the UFC. And then as I got into my career, Don made his breakthrough. And then soon after that, before, like, when I started getting into the EFC, then Dricus obviously made his breakthrough, and then Cameron, and then it took off. But at that time, it was the Conor McGregor era. I'm not saying that I'm a Conor fan or anything, but it was Conor McGregor's era. He was just lining up to fight Chad Mendes. It was like during that time, like just before that. So MMA in South Africa was still very, very young, very young. Like kickboxing was like the main thing in South Africa back then. Kickboxing, K1, Muay Thai, that kind of thing. But MMA was growing, but it wasn't like what it is today. And if I look back, I'm like, it's like developed in such a big way. And like and thanks to Dricus and like the guys that came before him, I mean, they really, I think, you know, like I know this is off point, but the people that they really give the credit to is Dricus. Obviously, I mean, he's the most successful guy from our country, but the guy that you need to actually give the credit to is Don. He was the first one to actually do well in the UFC, and then that's where like they started thinking, hey, there's actually something in South Africa. And then when they found Dricus, he just took it to a whole new level. But back then when I started, it was still fresh, bro. We had like, it was like South African guy champion, never. Like never. never been a thought ever. And now look, bro. So it was still very new.
So at that time too, Adrian, like as you tell your ex-girlfriend this, right? And she's telling you, no, you're not going to do that. Hey, X too. X. She wishes she was with the Son of Thunder, brother. She wishes. Hey,
That's so funny.
but after you tell her that, is your family and friends kind of thinking the same thing? Are they like, what the hell are you doing? Or they
Um,
know you and they're
I
like,
got,
let
I
that shit
got,
go.
I got mixed feelings from friends and family. Like my family, first of all, were very much like, we'll support you in whatever you do. But
Mm-hmm.
fighting, like my mom and my dad, my mom supported me. I mean, she always, but she never thought like a fighter. Like you're not a fighter. Like come on. My
Yeah.
dad, obviously, I love my dad. I like like no offense to anybody. Like I love my family too.
Same.
But if I'm completely honest, like my dad looked at me and was like, fighting. No man, get a real job. Like that was my dad. He's like focus on your studies. He's like, no, get a real job. Like leave this stuff. My brother was actually the one that was like, go get it. Like he's like the one thing that he used to tell me was he's like, we don't stop. No matter what happens in the fight, we don't stop. You don't stop. Like ground and pound, you don't stop. When you throwing punches, you don't stop. So that was like my brother, still is today, like our thing. Whenever I go into a fight or something, he always says, remember, don't stop. Like
Mhm.
that was like our thing. But like my parents, they had mixed feelings. My friends as well, bro. They were very much like, oh, cool, cool, cool. But a lot of them were like, oh, but how are you gonna find time to train with a full-time job?
Yes.
How you gonna do this? Oh, bro, you started late, and then because I started at 22, I 22 just turned 23 is when I
Same,
started. So I
Adrian.
started late,
Same.
bro. Like usually guys that I compete against and that like trained with, they've started like well in their early teens, like you know. So I started late, but because of the foundation of gymnastics and rugby and all the other sports that I played, mainly gymnastics, because I mean, if I didn't have gymnastics, I don't think I'd be a fighter. I don't think I would have had the ability to learn so quickly. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, in the beginning was a lot of mixed feelings. Like some people supported me, but other people were like, "Hey, you fighting? Nah, bro, it's not gonna happen." And a lot of people thought I was gonna lose my first fight. So I'm very chuffed and very proud of that 58 seconds smashing of that guy. And I put him to sleep, dude. Like I choked him out. They had to throw the towel in and everything. And when I got up, I was like, now what you gonna say? Like you can't tell me anything. So, so yeah, it was mixed feelings. But I think after that fight, people started to actually like, yo, he's actually taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And but I don't think anyone thought I would go pro. And that's where I think I turned a lot of heads and changed a lot of opinions. And I had a full-time job in the beginning. Like I worked shifts. I worked 8 hours a day. I worked like 5 days a week. I worked morning to afternoon, afternoon to evening, and then night shift, dude. Like,
Oh,
and not like 1 or 2 nights night shift, like 4 days in a row.
yeah.
I'd work from 10 p. I'd start my shift at 10 p.m. We'd finish our shift at 6 a.m. the next morning. I'd
Oh,
go home, I'd sleep for a couple of hours, wake up at like 9, 10 o'clock, get some breakfast in, and then head to the gym. And I'll train. And then I'll train till like late afternoon, early evening side, like 6, 7 o'clock. Go home, maybe I have like a quick 20-minute, 30-minute nap, and then go back to work, bro. So I was working a full-time job while training as an amateur, and then going as a pro. Like my first three pro fights, I was working corporate, bro. So I was like full-time job, and that's where people were like, "Yo, like this guy's work, like he's really serious about it." And I always knew that I'd get to a point where I was like, I'll have to choose between the normal working world and my fighting career.
yeah.
And that decision kind of like COVID and the whole lockdown and all of that stuff, that kind of pushed me to make that decision, because I was like, am I going to sit here in this room with nothing and watch the rest of the world live my dream, or am I going to actually grow the balls to get up and go and chase after this? And then yeah, that's when I decided to go full time into the fight game, and I haven't looked back. And that's been like what we now 2025, yeah, like 3 years now, 4 years.
Adrian, bro, real talk. Like, I know we're boys. You know you're my fucking dog. But dude, I got like goosebumps right now. That's like, dude, like no, I'm gonna gas you up. You know I'm gonna give you that fucking energy no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah,
But
yeah,
bro, for real, like I'm dead serious. Like hearing that is like I really don't think people understand how hard this shit is. Like people see everyone in the UFC, they see everyone getting started, they see the Drickuses, everyone that's champ now. But like you were just saying, bro, everybody's went through that road of like what you're doing, man. You're working 10 to 6 at night, sleeping 3 hours, training that day. And all you want to do is train. And now you have to get ready to go back to sleep, to go back to do the job you don't even
yeah.
fucking like. so you can afford to go train and do things
Exactly.
you want to like.
Exactly. And I was earning good money, bro. Like I had,
Yeah.
like for someone that age, that man, I could afford a car, I could afford my own place. I always had food. Like I could go out on the weekends. I could do anything that I wanted and still train. But it just wasn't enough. Like I didn't want to take away from my training anymore. And there was a lot of things that like I wouldn't say forced me, but a lot of things that influenced me to make the decision, because I remember sitting there sometimes, and I used to do customer service, bro, like chat,
Yeah.
and it was like online gambling, and it was dealing with customers and their money and their bet settlements, and like you just know how people are with money, and it's like, it's my
Oh,
money, where's my
dude.
money, blah blah blah, and then they're like swearing at you, and you can't like do anything back or be rude or like stand up for yourself, because I mean it's customer service, you know, like the customer's always right. Man, I used to tell my managers all the time, I say, this person, if they were standing here face to face with me, I can tell you now, they wouldn't be talking to me like this. They would be giving me money.
Adrian,
They
bro,
would be giving me money.
bro.
So there was a lot of times, bro, when I had moments where I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. This is
Oh,
not
dude.
how God intended it. This is not the path at all. But I'm grateful that I went through it, because it's the moment where I realized how badly I want this, and how brave and courageous I am to actually take the jump. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'll do anything, no matter what, I'll do whatever. But then when the moment comes for you to actually do the no matter what, and do anything it takes, can you do it? And something that really like put a switch on for me was when just before lockdown and stuff ended, I was staying with two housemates. We were sharing a place. Wesley and my friend Keegan. Shout out to my homies. Shame. Wesley's not with us anymore. He passed away just like in 2022. He was
Yeah.
29 years old. A lot of people think, oh, it was COVID. It wasn't actually COVID. From what I understand, it was he suffered with lupus. So I think it just he succumbed
Yeah.
to the disease or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, what happened was Keegan, we stayed with each other for about almost a year, the three of us, and it was like the best time ever. You and your two best mates,
Oh,
you get
dude.
your own place. Like you can just imagine the what we called on, like staying together. Like it was the best time.
Oh,
Then
bro.
Keegan met a girl, and she fell pregnant. So he decided to save money, and he moved out. So because it was during the lockdown phase,
Mm-hmm.
um, the landlord gave us like a cheaper rent price for myself and Wesley, and we were like, okay, cool, at least we can keep the house with the two of us. But anyway, he was like one of my biggest supporters as a friend. He
Yeah.
always told me, like, Adrian, why don't you go to the States? Why don't you like try and get into like the Ultimate Fighter house, like things like that? And he's like, bro, why don't you just give up your life here and go there and try it, like take the chance? And I always used to like play it down, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm here, the EFC, and I got my gym here, and I'm training, and things are good, and like, I
Yeah.
always came up with a reason not. But when he passed away, like I obviously had to move back home to my folks, and I was back in my old little flat at the back of my parents' house, and it was very isolated, secluded, and the whole lockdown thing played on me mentally. And I just kept thinking about him, and I was just like, you know what? Maybe he was always right. Take the chance. And just the fact that like life is so short. I mean, he was 29 years old when he passed away. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, like take the chance. And then that's where I was like, okay, I'm going to try and see what I can do to get to the States. Because I was like, I need to go, I need to get there, because nothing's happening in South Africa. So the fights and stuff started happening again in the States. They started having fights without the crowd and things like that at the Apex and stuff like that. So I was like, damn, man, if it's happening there, then I need to go there. And I've always had the attitude. I don't know if it's because I developed this in gymnastics or with rugby, but I've always had this attitude where I think it's from rugby because of the position I played. My uncle always used to tell me the position I played in rugby was wing. And he says if you're going to play wing, you're like on the far end of the field. So you're always waiting for the ball to come to you. And if you wait too long, the ball's never going to come. So he said, in order for you to get the ball, you need to go and fetch it. Like go after that ball and go and
Yeah.
fetch the ball and work. So I don't know if that was something that like just was instilled in me. And in that moment, I was like, if it's not going to come to me, then I'm going to go and fetch it. I'm going to get up and I'm going to make this happen, because I'm not going to sit around and wait for someone else to do it for me. I'm gonna go and get it. So that's where the idea of me going to the States like came up. And then I used to watch a lot of YouTube like back then. And I don't know if you know the YouTube channel Molly Whopper. It's an Irish or a guy from Boston. Like he's got a heavy Boston accent, and he does all these documentaries on like the MMA fighters and stuff like that. And he did a 2-part series on Ngannou, Francis Ngannou, and tells his story. And it told his story about how he made his way from Cameroon to France, and then
Oh my
that was
God, dude.
basically how he made his entry into MMA, and then eventually he became the UFC heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've followed his story or looked into it, but
bro, it's insane.
that is
It's
insane, bro.
Yeah.
And that's when I made the decision. I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Like I'm not. It's not a thought anymore. It's not like I'm gonna do this. Because I mean, like, man, if he can come from Cameroon in Africa where he's got like nothing, and I'm coming from a comfortable place where my family's there and I come from a good upbringing and stuff like that, then damn, bro, like I can definitely make something happen. So anyway, long story short, I came up with this idea. I spoke to my parents about it. My dad didn't agree with it. Obviously, he's chasing after fairy tales and stuff like that. My mom was like, give it a go. She's like, trust in the Lord and, you know, let God lead the way. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. So I quit my job. I resigned, sold my car, put together whatever money I had. I put together about like 10K in dollars, almost 10,000. No, less than that. It was like maybe 6,000 if you equate it to dollars, like $6,000 maybe.
Yeah.
And it's so weird how life works. When I came up with this idea, an old friend of mine, she got in touch with me and we like kind of spoke and whatnot. And I let her in on the idea because I met her when I was here in South Africa, and then she went back to the States. She lived in Los Angeles, not in LA, but Orange County, Huntington Beach. And while I was watching the YouTube videos, I got the idea to go to King's MMA because I was always a fan of pride fighting. And then I saw Rafael Cordero, and then I like went down a rabbit hole, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, King's MMA. I see Marvin Vettori's there, Kelvin Gastelum, Dos Anjos is there, Giga, and I'm a big fan of Giga. Like I love the way that guy fights, bro. Like unfortunate about his last fight, but he's skillful. So I saw that, and I was like, man, maybe I can find a way to get there, you know. Funny enough, this friend of mine, when I told her the idea, she's like, what gym do you want to go to? So I was like, no, King's MMA. She's like, isn't that like Huntington Beach, Torrance, around that area? So I'm like, yeah, it is. And she's like, I live in Huntington Beach. She's like, the gym's like 10, 15 minutes away from where I live. I was like, no way. She's like, yeah. She's like, why don't you come stay with me and then see if you can make it work? So I was like, fuck yeah, okay, I'll do that. At least I got like a place to stay. I got accommodation there.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's someone that I know. I'm not going to be in the country alone. And then she put me in touch with 1 or 2 people that she worked with, and the person she worked with, the boyfriend, trained at King's. So I got in touch with him. His name's Corey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, like this is crazy. So I got in touch with him, and he was like, yo, when you get here, I'll introduce you to the gym. I'll introduce you to Rafael. You can check the gym out. So I was like, cool. So I took a year to prepare. Did all of this, sold everything, got everything together, got my visa. I got a Spanish passport, so I was able to get like the electronic visa. I didn't have to wait for like a full thing. Yeah. And then, anyway, I make the jump. I go to the States, bro. And then like me and this chick, me and this friend, we got like a bit comfortable with each other, and like we developed a relationship. And then I was like, okay, you know, maybe we can get married and get settled here, green card, all that stuff.
Green card.
And then, yeah, dude, like I was determined to make this work, dude. But like and then anyway, so before I get to that, so I get there, and now I'm waiting on this guy. First week, I'm settling in, she's taking me around, showing me Huntington Beach, took me to Venice Beach, took me to LA, took me all around, bro. I fell in love with the place. I thought in a fucking movie, dude. Yeah. And then anyway, long story short, so a week goes by, now I'm settled in. Now I'm trying to get hold of this guy, Corey. And he's like, oh, no, he's busy. He'll let me know. Now I'm like, man, I didn't come here to wait on someone. So I was like, fuck that shit. I'm just going to go to the gym. I'm going to walk in there. I'm going to speak to Rafael and see what happens. I'm just going to take my chance. I mean, I already gave up my whole life to be here. So why? What the fuck?
Literally.
So, dude, I literally walked I went to the gym, didn't walk, but I took an Uber. I ended up there. I walked into the gym. I remember, I can't remember what day it was. It must have been a Monday, and it was like 9 a.m. And Corey told me go at that time because that's when the pro class is, and you would have taken. Dude, I rock up there. I walk in, and the first thing I see is all these UFC fighters on the mat. And I'm like, my eyes are like this, dude. And I see Giga there, and I see Marvin Vettori, and I see Gastelum, and I see all these guys moving around on the mat, and they're doing like technical stuff. And I'm like, yo, and I'm like frozen, dude. And I'm like, what the hell? And then Raphael walks up. I didn't even notice him. He walks up to me and he's like, hey, how can I help you? What's your name? What you doing here? So I'm like, oh shit, he's talking to me. So I go to him. I'm like, oh, my name's Adrian. My name's Adrian. I'm a professional fighter from South Africa. You know, I'm here to train, and like I want to check out the gym. So he's like, oh, okay. He's like, go sit over there, and he's like, check the training session. I'll speak to you afterward. You can tell me what you think. So I'm sitting there and I watched the whole training session, dude. It was like, I was amazed. I was just like, oh, I can't believe I'm here in the vicinity of these guys. Like I'm in the States. I'm like with these guys. And I'm only familiar with seeing them on TV, but here they are in the flesh, like in front of me. Mm-hmm. And all I wanted to do was gear up and jump on the mat and get the feel of everything. So afterwards, afterwards, Raphael came to me and we spoke a little bit, told him a little bit about like how I got there, what I'm doing there. And he was like, okay, cool. He's like, come join the pro training session tomorrow. And and then from there I trained with him. And anyway, on the other side, the living arrangements, things got a bit rocky between me and the chicken. Like after the first like 2 weeks, she was already like threatening to kick me out of the house.
What like, the hell?
Yeah, dude. Like it's a long story. I won't get into it. Yeah. So anyway, So I was like, damn, I gotta figure out a plan. Like I got nowhere else to go. So what am I gonna do? So I met a really, really, really good dude. Yazim, a Jordanian guy, and like he's like, if I saw him today, I'd hug him like a brother, because if it wasn't for him, like he helped me so much while I was there in the States, like financially, like everything. He guided me, he gave me advice, like he was like a real friend when I had no one. And he was like, why don't you speak to one or two of the guys at the gym, because he heard that they needed a roommate to, pay the rent, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll speak to them. So I spread the word around. I spoke to Giga. I even spoke to Giga, and he was like, hey, my brother, don't worry, we'll help you out, whatever. And then he put me in touch with the guy, Gregin. And Gregin was the owner of the house. And he was like, my brother, he's like, come to the house. We got a place for you. Don't worry. He's like, come check it out. If you like it, you can sleep there. And then he's like, but you're going to be sharing a room with one of the other guys. And the guy that I shared the room with is Vinicius, and he just made his debut now in LFA, and he fought former champion. I can't remember what the name was, man. But Vinicius Seni, I think his name was. Lightweight. He fought UAE Warriors as well. He fought Contender Series. When I was there, they were lining him up for Contender Series. Vinicius Seni.
Oh, shit.
He just fought LFA now against a former champion. I don't know what the guy's name is. I can't think of it now at the top of my head. But I shared a room with him. Dude, when I walked into the house, they showed me the room, and I was like, there was no bed, nothing, dude. Like, they were just like, you can sleep in that corner there. I was like, fucking, let's go. Dude, I went to Target. I went and I bought a blow mattress, a pillow, and like I went and I bought a duvet, everything. Like, I must have spent like $150 on everything, dude. I bought a pump and everything. I laugh at it now. Dude, I went there, I blew up the mattress, I threw it in the corner, I took my 2 bags that I had, I put it next to my bed, and that's how I lived there for like the next 3 months. Like I stayed.
My God, Adrian!
I stayed my 90-day visa to the end, and that's how I stayed in America for 3 months, and I trained with him, and it was the best experience I ever had.
Adrian, I have so many So how? Is it a big house? Like how, bro? Like how many? First of all,
it was like a apartment.
You're a fucking savage. Straight up, bro. Like,
dude, I wanted to follow the dream. Like I took my shot. I thought, if I can do this and I can figure out a way to stay in America, I can chase the dream, and maybe I could get on the UFC or something.
Adrian, I'm telling you, bro. Like I wish I had your mindset. Like, holy fuck, dude. No, I'm not like for real. Like I said, I know we're boys, and like I'm hyping you up no matter what. But dude, like, bro, I can't even wrap my mind around that for a second. If I had to go to South Africa by myself, right? And I had only 90 days to do it. And like the first 2 weeks I was with somebody, at least somebody I knew, I have to go from there. I'm at the gym. You're around these UFC guys in person. You probably can't even believe your life is real.
Yeah,
Bro,
I
like
got
like
the
you
shit
said,
kicked out of me.
bro.
I
Oh,
got
bro,
the
I'm
shit
telling, dude,
kicked
I
out of
got
me,
like
dude.
goosebumps. Imagine that, because that's like my first day of training. I got to watch Adrian Yanez, Alex Moreno, and like Derek Lewis and all these guys. I couldn't believe. I was like, why are they even in front of me right now? How is this happening?
No.
But I'm only 35 minutes down the road, and I go right back to my house. You left the country, left your home, left your family, left your friends, bro.
Yeah.
You come to the other side of the world, dog. You go to Huntington Beach in California. You don't know where you're gonna live now, out of nowhere. You've been there for about 2 weeks, and then you have
Yeah.
like, I mean, how long? Like from when Giga set you up with him, how long did you have till you went to the house and moved in? Was it like a day?
I did, like, dude, it was 2 weeks that I was there. The Friday I decided, I asked him. I was out of there by the Monday. The weekend I
Oh
took my stuff
my god,
and I went, bro. I left. Like I had no time to
Adrian.
wait, dude. Like I wasn't gonna get kicked out onto the street or anything. Like I was set up with a car there, so I had like transport. So if I needed to, I was prepared to sleep in the car for a day or two before I could find a place. But
Mm-hmm.
God was watching over me, and He was just like, "Nah, time for you to move. Go there." And it was
He
quick,
really
quick,
was.
quick. Done. I didn't have to panic. Nothing. They were just like, come stay with us." And it was the
Oh,
best. It was myself. It was myself, Vinicius, Grigine, and Ricardo. Ricardine. He also played. He also fought in Bellator, and he's got
oh
like a sick
damn.
front kick knockout, and they call him Sasquatch because he's like a sort of like stubby dude. And dude, all we did, like, you know what I loved the most about staying with the Brazilian dudes is how welcoming they are and how accommodating they were for a complete stranger that they didn't know. They were like,
That's
dude, come
amazing.
stay with us. And I used to like, and they're so minimalist, dude. It's like I woke up in the morning, like early morning, to them playing guitar and stuff, like making breakfast, dude. And then I'd come downstairs, make my breakfast, and we'd all sit around the table laughing and singing, and then we'd have breakfast, and we'd all head through to training. We'd train for
Oh,
like an hour and a half, 2 hours with Rafael Cordeiro, and then everyone would like go about their day for a couple of hours, and then we'd all meet back at the house, like have lunch, whatnot, sit again, play on the guitar, talking shit. And the only thing that was on the TV was fighting. It was only ever fighting. And
oh,
then they had a garage that was like kitted out with mats and wall mats, and they had two
oh,
bags there because Gregin was like a PT, so he used to do like private sessions in his garage, and then we would
yeah,
all roll together. And they're all black belts, eh? They were all black belt jiu-jitsu guys, and we would just
bro.
roll. We would roll, and then uh, Victor Silvaro was a good friend of theirs. He's quite a good grappler. He's fought on like the UFC pass, like the invitationals and stuff like that before. He would come and pop in there. Uh, I remember us having a party, and Chris Cyborg rocked up there with her husband and her daughter Gabby.
Oh my
And
god.
yeah, dude, like I was like part of the community there, and I made like solid friends for life. Another guy that I used to train with a lot, and Rafael actually paired us up together was Uros Milic. He was I was like helping him with sparring and like wrestling and stuff. That guy's a machine. He's got like a left hand like I've never felt before. And he had just made it in out. He had just got his contract from the Contender Series, and I think he had maybe had one fight in the UFC, and I was there helping him prep for his second one, and he like knocked that guy. I don't know who it was. Sandberg. It could have been Matthew Sandberg or someone that he
Oh,
fought, and he
Matthew
knocked.
Salisbury. I know you're talking about. I
Yeah,
know you're talking
yeah,
about.
and
Yeah.
he smashed that guy, and I was there that time when it happened. Or it could have been a fight before that. I got my timeline messed up, but I was there. I helped him train for UFC fight, and I was just part of the team. And the biggest like feather in my cap is when Rafael pulled me aside after like a month of training with him. He's told me he's like you have the warrior spirit. He's like I can see you
You
have it
do.
in you. And he told me he's like just make weight and I will get you a fight. And this is another story, and I think it's also just part of God's plan. Is like I was gonna fight on Uriah Faber's A1 combat. I think it was
Oh,
their second or their third event, and I
yeah.
was gonna fight one of their guys from Alpha Male and Team Alpha Male. And the fight, my flight back home was the 27th of May, and the fight was the 29th. So I had to leave 2 days. I had to fly out of the
Oh
country 2 days
my
before the fight.
God.
So I had to make the decision: am I going to stay in the country illegally and chase this dream, or and like never see my parents again? My mom, like never see my mom for a long time, because she's got cancer and well, she's been fighting cancer for like nearly 30 years. So that's also one of my inspirations for why I'm so determined to like fight. But besides that, like I had to make the decision: am I going to stay in the country, stay illegally, never see my family for like don't see my family for a long time? Something can happen to my mom and I can't go back, or I fly back to South Africa, get some money together, and then come back straight after. Maybe have a fight in South Africa and then come back. And I decided to go back home. I just couldn't like stand the thought of never like something happening to my mom and I never see her again. So yeah, I had to. I took the fight. I got the contracts and everything that they sent me for the fight, but I just couldn't sign it because I knew I wouldn't. I wanted to do it, and I was so determined to do it. And I said yes to everything. I couldn't sign it because I mistimed the dates, and I was like, fuck. And yeah, I had to tell Raphael that I couldn't do the fight, and I had to fly back home. And yeah, that was it. And then yeah, my time came to an end in America, and then I went back to South Africa. And then coming back home was a whole different story as well. Also, if you want me to get into it, I can get into that as well. Unless you
Bro,
want to ask me another
hey,
question, it's a
please,
long story.
no, please, dude.
So,
I was about to ask.
so what happened when I came back to South Africa? Obviously, gave up my life before I went to America. I came back
I'm
and
about
I
to
had no
cry
job.
right now, Adrian. This
No,
is
dude, I'm
insane, by the
saying
way.
this was 20 going in like end May 2022. I left in March, end of March 2022. March, April, May. I was in the States. Came back end of April. So this is like this. Sorry, not March, April, May. Came back at the end of May, and this was like June side around there. May, June, like around there. So I come back to South Africa. I got no job. I got no car.
Oh,
Money's low because I had to spend money in America.
oh
I
my
made like I
God.
built up debt because I used my credit card while I was there because obviously work was very scarce. So anyway, I'm back in South Africa. The only thing I can do is go back to my old gym. So without mentioning too many names about them, I go back to my old gym and I'm like, listen, I got no job. I can't pay for gym fees or anything. Can I at least just train for another fight so that I can get some money and then work from there? Because I am looking for work. So they're like, yeah, sure, come back. So I start training there. And in the interim, like I was struggling financially. So my dad was like, okay, you go work for your uncle again. Because that was the first job that I did when I left school. My uncle owned, well, he's not really my uncle, but he's my dad's like very close friend. So I call him my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He owns a marine, like a marine engineering company where they work on like all types of fishing vessels, servicing and repairs from like deck work all the way down to like refrigeration and stuff. So they like cover
Yeah.
everything. But my dad was like, when I finished school, I didn't want to, I wanted to like take a gap year from school. So he was like, no, you must go work. You know, my dad's like that old school European guy. He's like, no, you must
Yeah.
go, you must work for your money. So that was my first job I did out of school. And I did that for 6 months and then I just walked off site and then eventually got into my studies or whatever. So anyway, 10 years later, literally 10 years later, I go back to this job, dude. And I'm fucking like grafting, dude, like proper chisel hammer and fucking grinding.
Oh my God,
And
Adrian.
I'm like, fuck this shit, my bro. Like, but I had to do it. So I was working that job and also long hours, man, from like 7 o'clock
Bro.
in the morning till yeah, like I had to be there at 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock, and then we'd work till like 4, 5 o'clock in the evening. And then I'd leave to go and train. So,
Hard
but
work
now,
too, bro. You're
but
not
now
just, it's not a
before,
corporate job.
yeah, dude, like proper labor, dude. So anyway,
Yeah.
before I was sent back to this job, I was training. So I had a fight lined up, and I had the fight, and I lost the fight, and that was against Mark
Oh my
Ewan
God.
when I lost against him.
Yeah.
Then I didn't get the money that I was hoping to get, and then COVID kind of slowed down, and then ticket prices for flights like tripled. So a flight during COVID to America was like 17K in rands.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 17,000 in rands. I don't know what it was back then. I think it could have been like a couple $100 to get a flight, a return flight. But then when COVID slowed down, they
What?
like tripled the prices Then it went up to like 40K for a flight. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
the
fuck that.
the purse money that I'm getting doesn't even cover half of it. So anyway, the relationship deteriorated with my old gym because I'd lost, and I'd kind of gone into a bit of a depression, and I was like hopeless a bit because I had no job.
Man.
And I was just like struggling. And then one day I came to the gym. Now, this is before I went back to my uncle. I went to the gym and we were doing sprints and stuff. And like, I just wasn't feeling it mentally and physically. I was like tired. So I was like giving it like a half-hearted effort, but I was still pushing. And the coach like looks at me and I come back and he's like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, no, I'm good. I said, I'm good. I'm just tired. Like, just tough day. He looks at me and I do another sprint. I come back. He's like, are you sure you're okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. He's like, no, I'm picking up like a funny vibe here, whatever. And I was like, okay, sure, no problem. Anyway, he told me, he's like, yo, pack your things, go. I'm like, I don't, like, I don't want to deal with you today, whatever. That's how I picked it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, without like bad mouthing them or anything like that, I think that was just like the point where the relationship ended. And then the next day I had like no contact from them, and it was just like, that's it. Like, I had no job and I was just left out to dry. But today we have a good relationship, and we've kind of mended fences. Eventually, past years went by, we've mended fences, and now, like we've got sort of like a professional relationship. But yeah,
But what are you
that day
doing
was
now?
a bit of, so, bro, I had nothing. I had nothing now. So I was like, I was stuck at home for 3 weeks in my room, like
Yes.
depressed, bro. It's like,
Yes.
fuck life, fuck this, fuck fighting, fuck everything. Like,
And how old
so
are you
my
at the
dad,
time, Adrian?
bro, this was 2022. I'm
Oh
what,
my
22? I was
God.
30, bro. I just turned 30. Yeah, I was 30 years old.
Adrian. Oh, bro, I
Yeah,
have like,
dude,
oh
so
my God.
that was the first time like I'd lost everything. So I'm sitting there in my room. My dad walks in and he's like, no, fuck this. You're not gonna lie around here. You're gonna go work, go get a job, go get money, go to your uncle. He will take you back. So I'm like, fine. So I go work there. Now I'm working, and I'm working now. I'm not fighting or training or anything. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna make a plan because my brother's in the yachting industry and he's been in it for like years. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a plan to get courses in line, and I'm gonna jump on the boats, and I'm gonna fucking just leave the country and go find another life. But man, I did everything. I did the courses, spent a lot of money on it, everything. Like, I'm qualified to go on a yacht, dude. But I just woke up every day with this thing inside of me telling me, don't quit. Like, get back to training. Don't stop. So I thought to myself, okay, let me do some kind of training. So then when I get on the boats, at least I can do like personal training and stuff, and I'm fit, and I'm, like my knowledge is fresh and all that. But dude, and I signed up at a local gym, Reps MMA, which is like in my area. And I thought, okay, let me just go train with these guys. It's close to home and the fees aren't that much and I can afford it, whatever. And I went and I started training. And then the bug bit me. And I would wake up every day. And then the idea was like, oh, let me maybe have a fight before I go on the boats, whatever, And then I trained. And then one sparring day, I must have been like 3 months into my time there. One sparring day, I come to the gym and I fucking beat the shit out of everybody. Like, it was just, I was in the mood. I went there and I popped like 3-4 guys, like 3 of them
Yeah.
bleeding. And I was just like, this is not the environment for me. Like, I need to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then I came back home. I sat alone for a bit and I thought about it. And I was like, I need to go to a better gym. And funny enough, this is actually a weird story. I met a girl and we were like chatting and stuff. And she told me, oh, she trains at this gym, PFA in town, and and I know the PFA gym through the fighting industry, but I wasn't like I didn't have like a relationship with them. I just knew them from the fighting industry, and I knew Mikey because like we would chat, and like he was always like a nice guy and we would always laugh and whatnot. And I remember him telling my coach back then, he said to him, he said, this guy is a gem. And he was talking about me, and I'll never forget it. It was years ago, and I'll never forget it. It must have been my second or third professional fight, and he told me, he's like, this guy's a gem. And I never forgot it. And I thought to myself, I was like, talking to this chick, she gave me the idea, and I was like, maybe I should go to PFA and see what that's about. So I was like, okay, I spoke to my parents about it. My dad obviously is like, no, you spend my money, you must go on the boats, And my mom's like, give it a shot. So I was like, was saying to them, I was like, I just can't shake this feeling of like fighting. Like I have to do it again. There's a part of me that doesn't want to give it up, and I'm not a
God,
quitter.
I feel you.
So anyway, I decided to go to PFA. And I remember walking in there, and I thought Mikey was gonna be like, "Hey, how you doing?" He looked at me and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I was just like,
Oh shit.
yeah, because like politics and respect and loyalty to clubs and stuff. He doesn't like to. We don't want to step on anyone's toes or steal fighters.
Yeah.
So he was like, he gave me a chance to explain, and I told him the whole story, just like I explained to you.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, okay, cool. And then he asked me, and he's like, all right, do you have any gear here? And I'm like, no, I don't have any gear. He's like, oh, you could have trained today. So I was like, okay, cool. So he's like, I'll phone your previous coach. I'm going to speak to him, and then I'll let you know if I can take you on as a fighter. I was like, cool. Bro, the next day, he's like, cool. He's like, you ready for a fight? I'm going to get you a fight. So I'm like, okay, awesome. And then that's how my relationship started with PFA. And then 2 years training under him, he revived my career, and he gave me another chance to like get back into the fighting industry. And and then 2 years with him, the opportunity to coach and train at Yorkai then came up, and now that's how I'm here. And he's the one that kind of suggested it, and he told me that like it would be good for me as a coach, good for my career, good for me financially, and like I can learn a lot, be a coach, teach other guys, build a team, and all of that. And that's always been like a dream of mine to do. And yeah, after a few good fights and that knockout, obviously, I just decided, yeah, man, there's more to it than just like selfish intent for fighting and stuff like that. So I was like, well, let me give it a shot. And that's how I ended up at Yorkai. So if
Adrian.
it wasn't, it's been a roller coaster. It's I can get into more detail, but I don't want to take up too much time. But
No, bro.
yeah, man, I've been around, bro. I've been
Bro,
around.
listen to
If
me,
there's
bro.
anybody that's if there's anybody that's proved how much they want this, I did it. And I can tell you now, I've had many, many moments in my career where I could have just said, fuck it, bro. I can't do this anymore. But I just didn't want to give it up. That's not who I am. And I think if there's anything that my sporting career has taught me is that like you need to have, and like I always say, it's like a divine amount of determination and perseverance. Like only God can give it to you, and you need to believe that. And I definitely believe that my determination and my perseverance is on like a whole different spectrum or playing field than like the average person or the average fighter. Because like if I had the skill level and the experience of like Giga or something, dude, I would have been in the UFC like 10 times over. It's just that I've never like I started late, and there's like a lot of things that I can make excuses about and stuff like that. But man, I want it. I still want it so bad, and I know that I'm gonna get it at the end. And one thing like I've experienced in my career is I've experienced everything that a fighter can experience. I've won, I've lost, I've knocked people out, I've been knocked out, I've lost everything, gained everything. The only thing I just haven't had is a championship, and that's like the last thing I need to get. So it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. And
Hey, bro.
oh man, it's been a roller coaster.
Bro, dude, listen to me. First of all, Adrian, that's one of the best stories I've ever heard, bro. No, dude, I'm dead. Like, I want to laugh and be funny, but like, I was like 7 different times, I was like damn near about to cry. Like, I
Oh,
can't, but
man,
like,
come on, dude.
bro, I know how fucking hard this shit is, bro. And like,
Yeah,
dude, like, thank it, bro. You fuck Rocky's story, bro. Your story is shits on Rocky. Fuck Rocky Balboa, bro. Bro, that's not even a real fucking
yeah, man.
person, bro. Your story absolutely, like, Adrian. That is a movie. That's a
Yeah,
movie, bro.
it's
Everything
definitely a
from
movie. I agree. I hope they make one of me. Fuck, that will be
dude,
like the cherry on the cake. Oh, they made a movie about me, or
dude.
write a book or something, dude. But like, I'm like, honestly, dude, I'm not even like trying to exaggerate on the story and
Oh no, I
like
know, I know,
complete,
I know.
complete honesty, dude. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I've been through it, and like, there's some things I can't talk about because
One
like it's
hundred
that
percent.
serious. But I've gained, I've lost everything, lost my, like, there's been, like I said, there's been so many times in my fighting career where I've lost my career. Like, I lost grip of it, like, I lost sight of it, like, where I was sitting and I'm like, this is it, it's over, I'm done. I need to move on. I need to figure something out. It's happened to me like three times already in my career. And I've just never given up. I've just never quit. I've always figured out another way to get back on my horse and get the momentum going again. And flip, bro, the first person I gotta thank for that is God. Like, he's guided me along this path, and like, I think my faith in him and just my trust in his process and his plan, you know, no matter what happens, it's been the biggest thing. And then obviously those that have been around me and that have helped me. If I never met Mikey, I don't think I would have met Cam, and I don't think I would have been here where I am today. I don't think I would have had the opportunities to grow. Like, I'm so thankful for my dad and for my uncle, even though my dad was always the one that was like, no, get a real job and stuff. But today we can sit across each other from the table, and he says he's proud of me for how far I've come and what I've built out of this. Even though, like, I got to points where I was like, I've had it. Like, I want out of this game. I want out of this life. Like, I'm done. Like, give me the news, bro. Like, I was ready. And like, even like girlfriends, dude, like relationships, that they didn't believe in me. They like, and I told them, I was like, just give me a chance. Like, I promise you, one day I'm gonna get there. And dude, like, I've proved myself right so many times. Like, I don't have to like explain it to anybody. But now I'm at that point where the fruits are, it's starting to bear fruit now, and like, there's opportunity coming. And I don't know, dude, it's just like they say, just never give up, dude. Like, don't give up. I promise you, if you really want something, don't give up, because if the longer you go, eventually it's going to happen. If you don't give up, it's going to happen. You might fall 10 times, but that 11th time it can come right. And if you fall again, just keep going, because eventually you're going to get it right. You can't keep falling all the time. Eventually you're going to fly. And when you fly, make sure you keep flying, you know? So yeah, that's just determination, perseverance. Just keep going. Don't let anything or anyone or any situation stop you. If it's something you know in your heart and in your mind that that's what you want, then fucking go and get it, dude. Like, it's the hardest thing to do, but it's the most simplest decision to make. Like, everyone's like, I can't do it because I don't have money. I can't do it because I live in this country. I can't do it because I don't have this kind of thing, or I don't have that, or I don't. Dude, stop thinking about the things you don't have and start focusing on what you have in front of you, because that is what's going to get you there. You've been given that for a fucking reason. So use it. Like, I swear, because it's like, fucking get up and do it, my bro. If you have any aggression, plow it in that direction. Dude, I used, like, if you want me to be blatantly honest with you, dude, that gap before I started fighting, bro, I was a delinquent. Like,
Yeah.
I would go out to parties, like the friends I was hanging out with, and I got involved with like weird people, bro. And I would get into fights every weekend, dude. Like, kick people downstairs, like fucking 6 people chasing me down the road, and I'm fucking running away, like hiding, ducking, diving, doing illegal things, and like, bro, like proper delinquent. I was on a one-way track to fucking prison, death, or whatever you want to call it, drug addict, whatever you want to call it, dude. And one day I just decided, like, I'm done. Like, this is not what I want to do. And in that period, it's like, I didn't know what to do with myself. And then I was like, fuck, watch this movie. And then this movie just sparked this thing inside of me. And I was like, fuck, I can do this shit, man. And and then I was just like, I want it. Like, I don't want that life. I don't want to be that person, because it's not who I am. I want this. And I have a feeling that this thing is the thing that's going to give me what I'm looking for. And dude, like, almost, 10 years, 11 years down the line, look where I am, bro. I've got opportunities to go fight outside of my country. I'm a coach at a very like growing gym now, like, surrounded by good people. Like, my faith is solid. Like, my parents are proud of me. Like, dude, it changed my life just because I made a decision to go after this thing. And even though it's like, you don't know what's going to happen, just fucking do it, man. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Just do it. Don't sit back and watch the opportunities go by, because you might only get one opportunity in your life to do it. And to be quite frank with you, we only have one opportunity in this one life to do that thing. So why sit back and waste your fucking time? Get up and go and do it, dude. And if you fail, then at least you know, I tried it. That's not what the thing is, and I'll try something else. So that, if there's any advice or anything that I could give to someone, if you're thinking about doing that thing that that's really pulling you, do it. Just do it. Don't think about, like, you see these memes that say, oh, it doesn't matter about the money and the timing. Bro, it's true. Don't worry about how much money you have. Don't worry about your situation. Don't worry about where you're coming from, because it doesn't matter. It's not about where you come from. It's about where you fucking going, what your vision is, where your focus is. So go for it. Just go for it. How many guys, like, what inspired me a lot is like all these guys that gave up their life for this dream, and like Guns N' Roses, like completely out of the field. Like, they're my favorite band, and the reason why I like them so much is because of how they got to where they are. They used to live in like an abandoned studio, like garage, where they used to like come up with they came up with the Appetite for Destruction album in that like fucking junkyard, dude. Like sitting there in the back where they had no food. They were like eating like noodles out of a tin, and they were sharing one tin like between them. And now look at them. They were like the best rock band to ever live. So it's like they gave up everything and they suffered through, like they paid their dues to get there. So pay your dues, like go for it, pay your dues, and I promise you, you'll get there. Just don't give up. That's the thing. Don't give up. You got to keep going. As soon as you lie on your back and you say, oh, that's it, that's when you die. So I'm not about to die now. So I'm going to keep going.
Adrian, bro, listen to me. Listen to me. I didn't even want to talk these last 10 minutes. Dude, I'm dead serious. Like, that was like, I give a fuck if people even don't listen to this, bro. I mean, I hope they do, because I'm telling you, bro, you have, like, fuck that Rocky movie, bro. You have a way better movie than Rocky. Fuck him. It's just like, bro, that's, god damn, bro. Like, what you said was like, you fucking nailed it. Everything you just said, like, you nailed it. Like, I literally can go, like, Adrian, I can't even talk. I can't even form fucking words right now. I can't even form a fucking sentence.
Dude,
I'm trying not to cry on camera. But
don't be a bitch now. Hey, don't fucking cry in front of me. You're mad.
I can't. Hey, I'm a gangster, Adrian. I'm a fucking gangster.
You're a gangster.
Come on, I'm a gangster, dog. But listen, it is real talk though, like crazy inspiring. Yeah. And everything you've done in your life, Adrian, to where you were at today, and just, bro, you being able to give me your story today for this last hour has been incredible. Rather than me just asking you like, what's your favorite walkout song? What's your favorite day of training? What's EFC like? What do you think about the promotion? All this bullshit. I'll take that, what you just did, any day, bro. I don't give a fuck about your last 3 opponents, your next. I do give a fuck about that last fight because you killed a guy. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
if you want me to run through that, I can. Eh? Like, he just called me gay and I got upset, and then he was like, don't touch my nose. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna fuck you up. And then
people, I'll put that in. That's gonna be edited. Don't get me wrong. So look, Adrian, I'll just say real quick, I want to show you a picture real quick, and then I want to ask you the story, and then we'll get you out of here, bro.
I've had you you got a picture of me. Okay, let's do it. Oh shit, no.
You ready for this? So through everything you were just telling me, right? How crazy is this picture right here?
Oh, dude, that was my first amateur fight.
And people listening, that's his brother and that's his dad in the background.
That's so my father, my brother, and my dad. Yeah, like, you know, just like shout out to my pops. You know, like him and I, we've had like a tough relationship. Like if you want me to get like proper honest with you, like my dad's always been hard on me because obviously he could see the potential in me to be something. And like my dad comes from a tough upbringing. He comes from Madrid, and like not from the most like I don't want to say he was poor or anything, but like very, very close to that. Yeah. And he left his country at the age of like 20, 21. And he came to South Africa with nothing to start a new life. And he built everything that he has today with what he came with to South Africa. And he's also, you can tell you a story about his life. But fuck, man, like, that's why he was so hard on me to get a real job and make sure I studied and make sure I had backup plans and all these things. So when I came to him and I was like going to take a risk on something, he was like, no, you don't do this. Don't do things with sense, like, you know. Yeah. But whenever I did well, he was always there cheering me on. He was always proud of me, and he always used to like. I never used to see that back then because, you know, we always had like a bit of grief. But today, when I look back at it, dude, like I realized like how my dad was always there supporting me, and he was always proud of me. My mom as well. Like my mom's been my biggest supporter, and my brother as well. Like my whole family. But the special connection with like the one I really notice a lot is like the relationship with my dad. And today I can sit back and like, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for my pops. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my brother. And I don't think I would have been the person I am today without them. because my mom's the one that instilled my faith in me, like my faith in Christ. She's the one that instilled that in me. She's the one that taught me perseverance and determination and grit. My dad taught me like street smarts and always like to do things with sense and like to always think about things before you do it. Don't just go and do it, even though he's a loose cannon himself. So yeah, and then my brother's always had my back. Like I can tell you stories about me and my brother getting into fights in clubs and stuff. Him and I promise you, like him and I cleaning out a club one night. Like him and I, dude, and he had a moon boot on. He broke his toe, so he had a moon boot on. So it was like 1.5 men against the whole club, and we fucking smashed everyone, dude. Like that's like I did a war with them. So yeah, that picture is probably probably my most favorite picture from my amateur or my whole fighting career, actually. And that's something like I'll frame that and I'll put that up in my bar one day. And when I have like my sports pub or whatever, I'm gonna have that bar up, that picture up there. And I'll say, that's my father. That was my first fight, like proper. So oh, thanks for showing that photo. It's like it means a lot to me.
Adrian, I'm
that
telling
was
you,
my first fight, dude.
bro. I think
first
that
fight
was,
ever in the ring, bro.
so that was, bro. So that must have been even more like an amazing moment because he's seeing it come true after everything you're doing, everything you've been going through. And then that moment for you must be surreal because he's on the side of the ring for you. Your brother's hugging you.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I had to show after hearing your fucking crazy ass, amazing Rocky story that shits on Rocky. I was like, bro, I got to get this picture up and just get the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, that photo, eh? Jeez, I still remember it was the 1st of October, 2016. That's when I had the first
Oh
fight.
my God, you do still remember, Age? I was off top of the head.
Yeah, dude, 1st of October 2016 at PFC 8. Yeah,
Adrian. Bro, I'm telling you,
I
bro.
saw that clip, that video clip. I'll see if I can find it on Facebook, and I'll send you the link of that video. And it was my dad that was recording the video. And you can hear him shout in Spanish. I think it's that one where he shouts "Matalo, matalo," which means like murder. So I will get it. And then when I won and I get up, you can hear him shouting, it's my son, it's my son. So I'll see if I can get that clip for you quickly.
Adrian, please send me that clip.
Proper, like, and it's always the cell phone, that low quality cell phone footage. Eh? And it's one of those.
Hey, they didn't have no Apple iPhones back then, Adrian. We didn't have no nice ass Samsung cameras, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, cameras back then, bro.
Bro, Adrian, to end on not such an emotional, inspirational note, bro. I'm telling you, Adrian. Bro, more people, everyone watching, y'all gotta follow my boy. It's been scrolling by this whole time. If y'all have to, if you're not watching EFC, you're a fucking casual. Absolute scrap over there with banger ass fighters like Adrian, Big Shot, Kraken. There's monsters over there, bro. Absolute murderers, dog. And Adrian's one of them. So follow my boy at Rayo, RAYO 9201. It's scrolling by this whole entire time, people. So
down there on the blue line.
Come on, baby. Come on. Adrian, I got one more thing for you, brother, before I get you out of here. Like, hey, dude, I would love to have you back on, Adrian, because I could do another 6 hours easy. I know you're busy as hell,
dude, we can break down even more, dude. Like, I've got a lot of stories. I can get into my life that I was before I became a fighter. I can tell you a lot of stories, dude.
Adrian, I have 19 questions just still off that King's MMA story. I got 19 questions. Just off that little 5 minutes, I got 20 questions.
We can make an episode just on that, dude. Like, I'm keen, dude. I enjoy the chat. It's like
you know I'm here for it. But to get you out of here, Adrian, I mean, I'm telling you, brother, this amazing. You're the man. You're a fucking legend. We gotta know, brother, what was going through your head. I already asked you this on Dust Up Shakedown, but this is for the people at SDAWGSMMATALK. What was going through your head, brother? After all that shit going into that fight, he pushes you at the face-offs. He calling you gay for all that shit. Just a bunch of bullshit because you go nose-to-nose with this man. And then you get in there, stalked him, by the way, stalked him down like a fucking lion chasing a fucking wounded gazelle. And then when you put your right hand through his fucking soul and you saw his corpse laying on the fucking ground and you stood over him before you threw one more fucking ending blow, what was going through your brain, son, and how amazing was that win?
Dude, like, that you could see when after I finished the fight, I literally just sat down. Like something in my mind was like,
So dope.
calm down. It was
So dope.
literally like, it was just like, just chill. And I was like, okay, cool. Give thanks to the Lord. And then I just sat down, dude. And I felt like an artist that was admiring his work, like a samurai that had just killed he's like just did like a perfect kill and just put his sword away and just like sat down in like meditation. It was just like, and I sat there and I was watching him and I saw them come and move him, put him into recovery position, and then they were like, bring the stretcher, and I'm just sitting there like watching. And then I was like zoned out, dude, like blank. And then the doctor came to me and he taps me on the shoulder and I look up at him and he's like, you good? And I look at him, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I get up and then I do a backflip, jump on the ring and start celebrating. And then I realized, I was like, oh, fuck, I want to fight. But something just went through my head. It was just like, stay calm, relax, sit down. And I just sat down, dude. And I was just like the coldest thing I've ever done, dude.
It
But
was cold.
I look at it now and I'm like, it was like the perfect celebration because
It was, dude.
not to celebrate him getting knocked out or anything. It was just like celebrating a win like that because of what had happened at the weigh-in. Dude, he was like, I don't know what he was trying to do. He's the one that came into my space. He pushed his nose against me. He pushed me. He called me gay. And I just stood there and I
100%.
was like, what? Even my Cameron, my cornerman Cameron, he was just like, he's like, hey, calm down. He's like, don't worry, we'll sort it out tomorrow. Otherwise, there's going to be big problems. And I was like, I don't need to say anything. He just spoke for me. I turned to Graham and I shook his hand and I said, we'll sort him out tomorrow. And like, just before the fight started, I told Cam, I said, Cameron, if this guy sticks his hand out to show me respect, I'm throwing the biggest right hand I can and I'm going to smash him. He's lucky that right hand went off to the side because, dude, I wanted to land it. I was like, I don't care about respect. I don't care about if anyone says, oh, he stuck his hand. I'm like, fuck that shit.
Fuck
I'm going
that
to
shit.
throw one.
Yeah.
And then, lucky I missed, but I caught him with 3 nice ones. And then that last one, dude, when I walked over him, because I landed that punch, dude, and I knew I landed it. I eyed it, I aimed it, I landed the target, and I knew I got him. As he fell down, I was walking over him in the corner of my eye. I'm checking for the ref because I'm thinking, okay, the ref's going to come in. The ref didn't come in. So as I walked up to him, like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger style, like a Terminator, I stood over him and I looked him in his eyes to see if he was like there. And his eyes he was like looking that side, bro. Like he was out, bro. And then I thought to myself, I was like, you said I mustn't touch your fucking nose. I'm going to touch your nose now. And then I gave it to him. And then and you can see the ref only stopped the fight after I stepped over him and walked away.
Yes.
Then the ref came in and stopped it. He should have stopped
Yes.
it before I threw those punches. So I did get a walk off. I did get the walk off, bro. I think I was even better than a classic walk off, bro. I was like, I'm gonna finish this guy, bro. Yeah, I just gave him 3 of the best, like a 3-piece and a soda. Huh? What's that? You got the extra piece of chicken there, and then I went down and sat down, and I was like, I'm satisfied.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I was with the boy sent me the link right before that fight, dude. I was screaming, bro. Screaming. I lost my fucking mind. When you dropped him,
on the end of that,
dude, I fucking lost it. I wish I would have filmed my fucking reaction, dude, because I fucking lost it.
I can only imagine, dude, if you got this much energy and excitement.
Dude.
I can only imagine how, like, you must have been
dog.
throwing your desk around and fucking doing backflips, bro.
Well, Adrian, hey, I sent you that voice message. You heard it in the voice message.
I know. I played it for Cam, bro. We were laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing. I'm like, listen to this guy. This guy is fucking American. Listen to him, bro. He's shouting, yeah, dude. I thought it was the funny shit. Nah, dude, your energy is like next level. That was like the highlight of like, because fuck, dude, I get so many messages after fights when you win.
Oh,
like
dude.
your message was like the highlight, dude. I was like, listen to this.
Let's go.
Like, proper hype, man, dude. I was like, yeah.
Adrian Sanchez, son. Son of fucking thunder, man.
But yeah, now you know my story, dude. Now
Bro.
you know why they call me the son of thunder. That's also another story, how I got my name and how I chose the name as well, but we can say that for another time.
Hey, save that for part 2 of Adrian on SDAWGSMMATALK, people.
Let's go.
Bro, dog, I told you I was only going to take 45 minutes of your time. I took an hour 15, so I appreciate you being here for this long, Adrian. Bro, you're a man.
Anytime.
You're the man. You're the fucking legend. And dude, I am always glad to have you on the show. Cannot wait for part 2, Adrian. I
Let's
hope
do it.
nothing but blessings for you, bro. People, tune into my boy, EFC lightweight, soon to be UFC, Adrian,
I
son of
like the
God
sound of
Sanchez.
that. There we go, bro.
Be safe,
Nice
brother.
one. You too. Thanks for having me, Sterling. Keep on, my brother.